WNOV, The Voice. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not reflect that of the staff and management of WNOV and W293CX 106.5 FM Courier Communications Milwaukee, but are the sole comments of the host and guest of this particular show.
We live back in effect with Wisconsin Voices via Voice Radio 860 WNOV 106.5 FM Tuesday morning. Sunny but cool. I'll take that sunny though. I'll take that sunny because you can tell the action and the energy in the city. People getting up, want to move around, they're getting food, they're going outside like, oh, look like a good day to go outside and run. Oh, never mind. You ain't got but you warm that car up. You better go ahead and take that trip now.
The cold is good for us too because like hospitals stay cold.
Yeah.
It's less germs. It freezes the germs.
And people do a lot of cold treatments.
Look at him. He looking like what?
People do cold treatments. It's beautiful outside. It is saying that winter storm watch.
I'm like, is this
Wisconsin
Voices or Action Wisconsin?
It's Action Wisconsin.
Okay, this is Action Wisconsin. Okay.
Wisconsin Voices, of course. We still getting that winter storm is still in effect. The winter storm watch has been issued still from southeastern Wisconsin. So for the community, make sure y'all being safe out there. Make sure you are salting for your loved ones. Make sure you're checking on them. Make sure the snow removal is being on point. Yes, absolutely. And
if they over 40, don't be letting them out there shoveling the snow.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow we supposed to have a nice little snowstorm. So at least 5 to 8 inches, they said. May not happen. I would hope. I don't like snow, but it's God's will.
Yeah. So with that being said, the winter storm watch is for the following areas: Waukesha County, Washington County, Sheboygan County, Racine County, Ozaukee County, Kenosha County, Walworth County, Jefferson, and of course Milwaukee County, where we all have a partner or two in a lot of these counties. So make sure you're bracing for this and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Outside of that, we are, of course, getting started. So thank y'all yesterday for that great conversation we had. That was one that kind of led into the afternoon and evening, talking to people about how they seen that location and what would you like to see at Midtown. So thank y'all for reaching out. Thank y'all for reaching out to me personally and saying that you cool with it or you not cool with seeing affordable housing in the area. A lot of y'all did grow up in that area and stress that you would like to see more businesses, and just like myself growing up in that area as well, and people that frequently shop or of course drive through there for whatever reason. You want to see more stores, you want to see more reasons for you to embrace the north side of Milwaukee. A good way is putting more stores and more businesses, not residential, especially if you don't know nobody that will live over there, which might be the case. I had a little joke I wanted to start off, not really a jokey joke, but just kind of start off with a little laughter in the so much seriousness with all these, executive orders being placed in. But this one yesterday was a joke. So, Jermaine, Mr. Rod, would you like to play that clip from one of the executive directives yesterday?
Order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
Number one trending. Can you believe it? A paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes. And we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it. And it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
Yes. Did everybody hear that? They executive ordered the plastic straws back yesterday. And since we're talking about the straws and how this was such an issue, which I'm surprising was, anything that I thought it was a joke when I seen this as like a meme last week. Like,
you see how I'm looking like,
yeah.
Did this man really say plastic straws were better for our environment?
Yeah, and he said that he doesn't
Okay.
see how it's affecting the sharks. He said the sharks, the way they move around. So I was just, just kind of appalled with this. But plastic straw pollution is a significant environmental issue. Millions of straws are often used daily, often ending up in landfills, waterways, where they can harm marine life due to their small size and non-biodegradable nature. In the U.S. alone, it is estimated 500 million straws are used every day, making them one of the most prevalent forms of plastic litter on beaches and oceans. So he just decided to bring the order to plastic straws back, which out of all the executive orders, which were over 50 so far that have been signed. By the way, more in the first 100 days of any other president, as far as executive orders, 50 plus. Right behind him, it was like a list, but there was nobody really relatively close to that. I just wanted to share that with y'all as one of the executive orders, and if you are interested in checking that video out, that was Forbes. President Trump signs executive orders in the Oval Office. That's the title through Forbes. You can see that. Surprisingly.
So I got a question for you, B.
Yeah.
It seems like that this guy is really trying to undo everything that Biden and
It
Obama
ain't just
did.
Biden. Everything going back to 60 years.
Yeah.
It ain't just what Biden did. It's basically, it's like a reverse of anything that the
That was moving the
Democratic
country
Party,
forward.
that was moving the country forward.
Yeah. Wow.
And he doesn't take the environment. I mean, to just think about the environment and the ozone and the layers already are being burned.
Yeah, it just seems like that the people that he has around him, like, I can't believe that he's really moving like that, because just how I operate, if you feel like you got all of the answers to the questions, either you're not asking the right questions or you're just in the wrong circle of people. And it seems like that this guy is operating as if he got all of the answers already, and that's real troubling to me, because nobody has all of the answers.
Right.
So that's telling me you're not asking the right questions, and or you purposely surround yourself with yes men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody that tells him in administration, what they believe, he just pretty much going for it and then doing his little research. Even in one of the executive orders last night I watched, he was saying how he had how he got some of his information. I think he had said he had got some of his information through like TikTok or something like that. Those type of comments are concerning.
That's concerning for your president to get his advice from TikTok.
Yeah. So.
And then another thing with that is everybody around him, all these executive orders are to benefit them in their businesses. Have anybody ever really thought about it like that? These are billionaires, millionaires, that everything that they're doing is really to take the regulations away from their business purposes.
Yeah. Oh, one last night. Oh, it was another one on there that I caught that was pretty interesting. It was executive order to have, from what I understood, to have less federal or legal consequences if you're an American business and doing business overseas, and for overseas businesses to do work over here. And he was saying things in that, like, um, you know, pretty much like I don't understand, why it's so hard for American businesses to do business overseas. They shouldn't feel like they are getting in trouble. Pretty much he was saying that we're going to take the focus off of anytime American or business does business, anytime American business does business overseas, or a business does overseas business with Americans, we're pretty much going to like not put as much focus on, the legality of it, is what I was taking from this. It seemed like it was
less restrictions.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like it was saying. It's in there too. Maybe on break, what we'll do is pull that one up, because I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And I was concerned to say, like, does that mean like there's gonna be much more possible, I guess, illegal, business or contracts being done with overseas,
That's what it
companies?
sounds like. If you're taking the restrictions off, that means you're gonna be doing more illegal. Well, you can't say it's illegal because he's the president. He made an executive order, but you'll be doing more harmful stuff that people won't know about. So it's like he's basically saying take the attention off what businesses they contract with overseas.
Yeah. I thought that was another one. I mean, just sitting here, I mean, individually, I know we don't want to spend too much time on it, but this is just a few of the things I was looking at, and I think that one last clip we'll pull up a little later if we can find it. If not, we'll save it. But I thought that was pretty interesting of a shot, and just the conversation that he was having in between signing executive orders, looking like locally and politically, and of course through the MPS superintendent, look like they're down to their final interviews. Did you see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I believe they will be having a meeting today to kind of narrow it down, either two or one.
Yeah, so the final interviews for the three finalists for the position will be held in a special meeting on Friday. Well, I guess it was just held this past Friday. The school board hopes to make a hire later this month or early in March. Former superintendent Keith Posley, of course, resigned in June 2024 after, of course, it was real about the reports, which were, we talked about a lot on the show as well. The three finalists for the position, for that school position, will have their final interviews which they did have on February 7th. They have over 50 applications for the role. They received, and 48 candidates were considered. The board announced following three education leaders as its finalists. So we have Dr. Brenda, I want to say, is that Casales? Excuse me for butchering your name if you do become the superintendent. Former superintendent for Boston Public Schools. We have Dr. Joshua Starr, who's the former superintendent for Montgomery County Public Schools. That's Maryland. That's interesting. You got Boston and Maryland trying to come over here. Okay. Do y'all hear this? And then the last one we have is Dr. Andre Townsell, a current superintendent for Calvert County Public Schools, Maryland. So what are you trying to tell us? That we didn't have anybody qualified locally that they wanted to go with? The three finalists are people who would like to uproot their lives from, this is Brian's take, but just saying, Boston Public School District, which former Boston Public School District. We got the former superintendent for Montgomery County. Those are pretty big counties, especially, and I'm even thinking about like Montgomery County Public Schools. Like, that's a pretty big county as well.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty heavily black populated county. I believe Montgomery. Does Baltimore sit in that county? No, Baltimore County. Baltimore like Milwaukee. They got their own county. Yeah, they like Milwaukee. Okay, so yeah, I do remember that. Or they got the name is like
Mhm.
Baltimore County, Milwaukee County. Andre Townsend, and he's from Calvert County Public Schools in Maryland as well. I like to see, or kind of dig in a little bit, and I'm sure we can, but just to see, what.
I just feel like it wasn't any qualified candidates from here
Yeah,
that actually worked in the school system and know our school system. And then when them as finalists, that's what I'm gonna go research. How did their county? What is their structure in their school systems in those counties, and how are they doing?
hmm
Because if you're hiring a superintendent that has track record isn't good, well, their county track record isn't good as well. Why would we want to continue to go down this rabbit hole?
yeah, they got when you look online, you can definitely see a little bit about them. And just to try to talk, speaking to the brother that they got up there, Andre Townsend, he's award-winning, highly effective superintendent, proven track record. He's a 3-time graduate of Howard University. Dr. Townsend holds a master's and bachelor's degree, doctorate, a master's, and a bachelor's degree, demonstrating his lifelong commitment to educational excellence. He's a graduate of the inaugural cohort of the AASA Urban Superintendent Academy and holds Maryland's Advanced Professional Superintendent license. It's pretty accomplished to me so far. Getting into what you were talking about. This is perfect. This is what I was looking for Latoya, because we're in Toya Talks right now. Tune in and tap in and talk to Toya 414-444-5253 on Wisconsin Voices. Previously as superintendent, and this is again about Dr. Andre Townsend. I believe that's how you say his last name.
Oh, that's beautiful.
As a superintendent of Benton Harbor area schools in Michigan, Dr. Townsend led the district out of decades-long financial deficit, increased student achievement, and secured a $3 million literacy grant. That's nice. His expertise in school transformation has earned him a national recognition, including Howard University's Alumni Award for Distinguished Postgraduate Achievement. That was just 2024. The Legacy 23 Award for Educational Leadership, and the Teacher, and that was 2024 as well, and the Teachers Festival Excellence in Education Award, and that was 2023. So that's Dr. Andre Townsend. To pronounce that name is Andrea it's E with the it's an E, but I forgot what you call it. What you put over above the E. Townsend, TOWNSEL. Yeah, Dr. Joshua Starr. Let's give a highlight, because we will want to be equal with highlighting. So as my family members and parents and grandparents, Dr. Joshua Townsend, he spent his years as superintendent of schools in 2 districts, Montgomery County, Maryland, and the 15th largest in the country, Stamford, Connecticut, and the 15th largest in the country in Stamford, Connecticut. Starr's leadership has always focused on quality and excellence. He has collective efforts to ensure high quality instruction for child, decrease innovation, expand community engagement, activate student voice, increase teacher leadership, and support principals. Dr. Starr started his career in Brooklyn, New York. So he's been around some diversity, teaching global studies to adolescents labeled severely emotional disturbed, and then became a systems leader in districts in New York metropolitan area, including New York City. He has some experience in nonprofit as well. As it looks, he was a CEO for PDK International. There is a CEO for PDK International. He has numerous awards as well. He's a prolific author, published numerous columns, op-eds, and book chapters. He has a book as well called Equity-Based Leadership, is used by superintendents to guide their transformation efforts. Equity-based leadership. That's Dr. Joshua Starr with 2 R's, like the former quarterback of Green Bay. And lastly, we go with Dr. Brenda, I want to say Cassellius. Or Casalis. I feel like it's Casalius. She spent 3 decades. I'm trying to get it right to you.
You good.
She might be Yeah, she might we might have to interview her in the future, and she could go back and look at this interview and be like, "Oh, you're slaughtering my name." She has spent 3 decades as an educator devoted to ensuring all children receive equitable and excellent education. She's most recently spent her time as a Boston public school superintendent. She helped secure $110 million in new annual funding. She led the district successfully in that during the pandemic, through a global pandemic, secured $110 million in new annual funding, passed new high school graduation standards and historic admission policies, increasing access and opportunities to Boston's 3 exam schools, and work with Mayor Wu on $2 billion green school deals to do better new school deals to do better Boston school buildings, to build better Boston school buildings, I guess. Dr. Casellas was also superintendent in East Metro Integration District, associate superintendent for middle schools and high schools in Minneapolis public schools, academic superintendent for middle schools in Memphis city schools, where she led remarkable turnaround. Dr. Casellas started her career as a special education paraprofessional. She's known for unrelenting advocacy and building community across sectors to build political will and strategic plans to ensure that students are safe, connected, and prepared to thrive. She was raised by a single mother, grew up in public housing. She understands firsthand positive impact. So she is a doctor. She has a doctorate. She's a personal background, her big system regional experience, her public service at the highest levels of city and government, and her nonprofit CEO experience makes her a unique match to lead Milwaukee at this pivotal time. So she has a background of being pretty diverse in community politics, and looks like she's made her way between the different regions as well. So I think she has a lot of experience in those regions. And I just want to share that real quick before we take our first break. It's about that time. We're on Be a Voice Radio. Questions, comments, concerns about anything that we've talked about so far. We were talking about the superintendent finalists for this NPS. I guess you would say, what do you say?
Election.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right here on Be a Voice Radio. WNOV 106.5, 860 AM. We'll be right back.
Remembering what we stand for. At Wisconsin Voices, we remember what we stand for. Check out our movement dedicated to empowering citizens and shaping the future. Engage with us on our website, social media, and podcast to make a difference. Visit wisconsinvoices.org. Explore our events calendar, like and subscribe to us on social media. Listen to recent podcasts and radio, and subscribe to our email and newsletter. Amplify your voice and be a voice today.
Wisconsin Voices' 3 pillars are protecting democracy. Your vote is your voice. Wisconsin Voices works to protect democracy in Wisconsin by fighting voter suppression, promoting voting rights, and ensuring fair elections for all. Teaching advocacy. Teaching advocacy empowers and educates advocates in Wisconsin by offering training, resources, and support to enhance their skills, fostering a more informed and effective advocacy community for social and economic change. Building community. Wisconsin Voices builds strong communities for a healthy democracy by collaborating with diverse partners, creating networks for positive change, and fostering a sense of belonging and common purpose. Learn more about Wisconsin Voices by going to wisconsinvoices.org. Learn more about what our partners are doing by visiting the events calendar. Listen to recent episodes by going to our podcast and radio. Get involved today.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
860 AM, 106.5 FM. WNOV, The Voice.
We back. This is Be a Voice with WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. I am Latoya and I'm with my co-host, Brian.
What's up?
What's up?
Hey, South Africans said that Trump trying to give them some safe haven over here was ridiculous and lame. And I don't even know if the United States has showed that part, but this is what they said. This is what they said about him offering to accept white Africans as refugees is landed over there to them. And this is reported by a French news outlet, which I thought you got to go outside of US sometime and see it from the other point of view, because our media sometimes can just kind of try to make it seem all soft. They're giving it to you straight up. So Johannesburg student district's U.S. President Trump's offers to accept white Africans at refugees landed as both ridiculous and lame among South Africans of all races. So I don't know if y'all did see that. Did y'all get to see that?
It's weird. You want to take immigrants out the country
who wanted to be there. They came there. They're immigrants of Europeans that landed in South Africa way back, and then they created all that mess with apartheid, and of course we know what happened with that, and that's the reason why we have leaders and legend leaders of national, world leaders like the late Nelson Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
But on Friday, Trump cut off aid to South Africa and claimed without evidence that the Pretoria government is seizing white-owned land and prosecuting Africans, descendants of European settlers. Both South African-born Elon Musk, the world's richest person, and Trump's right-hand man, has in the past echoed far-right conspiracy theories about white genocide in the country. Trump doesn't know anything about this. And I feel like Elon Musk is pushing him behind and saying there's something there. Go look at it. So I thought it was just interesting. I didn't want to talk about it too much. I just thought it was just so random. Of all the topics, of all the things that's going on, like your focus is cutting off aid to South Africa, but also saying that a group that has shown and has pushed the separation and has hated the idea of integration in South Africa, you're saying that they are, and they're not even agreeing with you. So next.
That's one of the biggest things. It's like everything he's doing is his administration that's actually
he just from inside,
right.
Yeah, like you said, there you go. It's something that he whispered him in his ear. He's like, "What? Let me look into it." And then they over there like, "No, you're." And then people over there saying, "Don't listen to Elon. Why are you listening to dude?" Come on now, it's crazy.
You can tell about his administration. You can see that literally it's a lot of his policies and his orders are coming from the people around him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just doing what they want.
Yeah.
It's not his own agenda, ideas. Some of it is, you granted, a lot of it is his idea, his agenda that he set forth before he ever was elected, when he was running for office. But then you have a lot of stuff that is actually being done that you just have the people around him saying what they want to do, and literally.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
That's what's being done. So it's just, I want to know from the community, what are some things that you think that the administration should be doing right now? What is some, I feel like you're creating this tax war, the TERFs from different countries. Are your health and human services, department, are they of any concern about this bird flu? People are ending up fighting over eggs in stores. They had people in stores literally fighting over eggs.
Hey, one of my friends that live out in California said that a carton of 12 was $35. And
Wow.
and they posted it. Yeah, he's like sitting here, and
A carton of 12 dozen
yeah.
eggs is $35 in California.
yeah, one of my boys. Matter of fact, this is one of my best. What's that best friend? This is my cousin Jason. This is one of his boys, and he was saying he posted it, and his name is Sarad. Sarad is a comic.
Is that exaggerated a little bit?
It could have been exaggerated. They could have been like 20 something bucks, but the way that he just said it, he was like, I'm over here debating, should I steal these eggs or should I pay this $35? He's a highly accomplished former military and military policeman, so of course he ain't gonna steal it. He good. He got that I'm sure that he got that payout, whatever you get for being military. He been in for a long time, so he ain't got to steal no eggs.
You get a retirement pension.
Yeah, the pension and all that. But yeah, just the joke of that, and just seeing more people talking about it. You got more families online. My friends and folks, they stay all over. I want to hear what they paying for eggs. I'm gonna come back with some egg. We're gonna come back with some egg prices next week from across the country. I'm gonna have 3-4 cities. I'm gonna have my friends tell me what they see when they go to the grocery store. Call.
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Hello, caller. You're on the air. He hung up. Yeah. So that's really the concerns I feel like for the community. Your price of eggs are going up. Your prices on your groceries are going up. Your income is dwindling, getting less for the average working person. Is that administration thinking about any of those things? Like your whole beginning of your presidency is just to cause chaos and division and put people against each other, and it's just crazy to me. It's like, is there anywhere in the near future that I see us working together? Or if a person just don't agree with something that administration says, is it just to cancel?
Pretty much.
Go ahead.
Caller, you on the air? Be a Voice Radio. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good morning to you. Brother was talking about the South African deal, what Trump is pulling. Let me share this with you. There's another component to that story. What they did, what South Africa done did now, they tired of everybody coming in there, getting their resources, and they trying to get rid of the Chinese. The American government has been giving, kibbles and bits to get it, to get what they can get out of there. And what the South Africans have did, they went actually and signed a deal with Russia. Now you can pull that up. The head man of South Africa then already made a deal with Russia. So when you do that, then you know what the Americans they're gonna kick back. So they don't want a South Africa man is already done made a deal with Russia. I don't know what kind of resources Russia gonna get. I haven't really got into it, but I do know, and I was trying to call you while you was talking and addressing this because I hate to digress in y'all show, go backwards. But, I wanted to tell you that they've actually made some kind of deal with Russia. I don't know what kind of resources or what. I don't even know what Russia got to really offer, but they did that. So what was happening is that America going to fire back and do what they got to do in the price of eggs. Hey, something? I'm not going to let none of that scare me because I've been paying $3 now for some gas for quite a while. What I got to do is let them people finish fighting each other. Me and you going to stay out the way, and everything that's flying, we're going to catch it, and we're going to catch it like a receiver, and we're going to run a touchdown with it. Now, only the fools going to try to get in the fight with them and get their arms all broken, get beat up. I'm going to let them fight, dog fight. and everything that's fine. But we might got some good auctions coming through here. You got to put your ears, because there's assets being seized too. There's there's things that are being seized that were really illegally gotten, man. I mean, no matter how you want to look at it, and illegally gained. And yeah, I would like for them Arabs to get out of here too, because they won't give me and you a rezone of building for me and you to open up a corner store. So if we can get some of them out of here, yeah, we can get our moms and pop stores back. I'm in it like that, man. I'm in it to win. And y'all can sit back and say, no, they came in like that. They Jewed our people out. And if we can get a plate, I'm going for the plate, you know. And I just thought I would throw that at you, my man. I appreciate the few minutes of fame. I'll see you later.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
calling.
for your comment.
Thank you for calling. Yeah, Africa. I was just reading. It looks like, just to kind of sum up what you were saying, it looked like South Africa and Russia were there. Looked like it's a deal in the make of in 2023. It was some conversation of a possible of a mine in the desert, you know, and this could you know, pretty much threaten or could have threatened some relationships with South Africa and United States, just because they're looking at it as, you know, this relationship of them mining manganese in this desert, you know, could be problematic between, you know, the relationship between South Africa and United States. So, and this was just what I was looking at it saying. Even 2023, they were saying that they think South Africa is playing a dangerous game here, and indeed sometimes politicians are putting their political party, the ANC, before the needs of the citizens, because it just doesn't make sense to be so closely associated with Russia when the stakes are so high and there's so much at risk, said Stephen Groos, the Russian and Africa analyst at the South African Institute of International Affairs. So I mean, it's, you know, it's a possibility. It could be a lot of things going on behind the scenes we really don't know or haven't been spoke about, you know. And you know, if this is their way of trying to like hold aid over South Africa, so they, you know, I know just seeing today, I seen he stated that he would, when it came to Ukraine, if you give us some of your resources, we'll help you. This is the, you know, if you give us some of your natural resources, we'll help you. And
Because they're all rich in oil.
Yeah, so this is his way of, you know, getting them to help
with these oil companies. A lot of these, it's just weird. Just like Elon Musk over Tesla. One of his executive orders were to scale back on the policies that Biden put in place for electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
So we can stop using so much fossil fuel. That fuel is pretty much why we're in a lot of these deals with all these other countries, is for their oil. So instead of helping people because they're being pummeled over there, or being the atrocities that's happening in Ukraine, instead of helping them, you're basically saying the only way we'll help you is if you give us some of your resources. So that's been America's deal for a long time, is to do things like that. Like they did with Iraq. You went and bombed the country and then said, oh, we'll help you when you give us some of your resource, you give us some of your oil. So we as a country got to do better. We got to do better. And there's no way that we can step aside and knowing our country is pretty much going to ruins. I just don't see where we're getting any of his policies is helping our country do better. But we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Be a Voice, Wisconsin Voices, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM.
Milwaukee. Tune in to Be a Voice Radio, discussing the latest local and national community and civic topics that matter to you the most. Every Monday and Tuesday at 11 a.m. on 860 WNOV and 106.5 FM. You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
Remembering what we stand for. At Wisconsin Voices, we remember what we stand for. Check out our movement dedicated to empowering citizens and shaping the future. Engage with us on our website, social media, and podcast to make a difference. Visit wisconsinvoices.org. Explore our events calendar, like and subscribe to us on social media. Listen to recent podcasts and radio, and subscribe to our email and newsletter. Amplify your voice and be a voice today.
860 AM, 106.5 FM. WNOV, The Voice.
Hey, welcome back to Be a Voice, WNOB 860 106.5. Brian here with Latoya. Just want to mention this real quick. Latoya slid it over to me. You got a manufacturing hiring event on the spot interviews today on lucky number 11, Tuesday from 3 to 5 at Employ Milwaukee. Again, is a manufacturing hiring event on the spot interviews. I always love to talk about the workforce services here in Milwaukee because that's something I spent a lot of time in myself. Employ Milwaukee will be conducting this. It'll be 2342 North 27th Street. Again, manufacturing hiring event.
That's 27th and North.
You guys know where it's at. You have Frederick Nelson over there running that. So go over there, get some information from Frederick Nelson at 414-270-1738. You can also contact Frederick Nelson at frederick.nelson@employmilwaukee.org. Again, for everybody that's just turning their radios to it, manufacturing hiring event on the spot interviews Tuesday, February 11th, today, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And I want to mention something else that Donald Trump, President Trump's administration has done. They have blocked funding for half of Wisconsin Head Start schools. That is the funding that actually help kids from ages 3 to 5 years old start learning and building and being ready for kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
What is the reasoning for that? I mean, it seems like everything that was put in place to help Americans achieve and build, and that affects all of our children. It doesn't have, when the caller called in and said letting the white people fight, these fights are affecting all of our children. What is the reasoning behind blocking funding, federal funding from Head Start?
Was that one of the ones that was caught up when, like, he did the Medicaid and all the other? Was that in that mix? Didn't that get caught up with all that? It got affected with that. Yeah, that's just the strays being hit, being let off. Or the people getting hit. Unfortunately, that's, as you see, happening all across the board. Why you saying that? It's not related to that, but it still falls into the mix of that. Think about who farms in Wisconsin. We don't. You got it. A couple groups of farmers and local city urban farmers. Shout out to our local and urban farmers and the ones that hold that tradition. But we, as far as major farms, you got the Landrys. They doing their thing. I believe down in Janesville, wherever the Landrys have their farm. But just even now, you look at this, it says Wisconsin farmer groups feel impact of Trump's administration's funding freeze. Just tying this to how you saying them strays and people thinking that they're not gonna get hit with stuff or forgetting. Now look at this. So this is just from the other day, Toya. The ongoing freeze of federal funding for overseas food aid and on farm conservation projects has created uncertainty excuse me, for Wisconsin farmers and agricultural groups preparing for this year's growing season. As you were saying, another thing that was halted, just like the Medicaid and the other services we had the other week, President Trump halted food purchases for foreign aid through the U.S. Agency for International Development. In January, about 41% of that food aid provided by USAID is purchased from American farmers. The president also halted funds for Climate Start agricultural projects created through the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. That includes expanded funding for farmer cost sharing contracts and grants through agencies under the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The Wisconsin agriculture leader says it's difficult to understand how much of the frozen funding was meant for Wisconsin farms. Soybeans is one of the major commodities purchased by USAID, according to agricultural economist Paul Mitchell of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. But he did say it's going to have local effects, Mitchell said. How much of the dry red kidney beans, he says we don't know, but how much is dried cranberries, we don't know. How much is dehydrated potatoes from the state, it's difficult to tell. It's just talking about how much is going to be effect on the locals as far as the sales. He did say that companies their contracts will be the first to feel the impact of the funding pause. So there you go right there. So if you're a local farmer and you got a contract and this is affecting the same ones, we was riding through, like I've been riding through last couple of years, riding through, northern Wisconsin, whatever it was, family vacation, whatever the case may be. And you see the support for Trump was heavy. And that's the farmland. I see a lot of these flags and these 50-foot Trump signs on.
Right. When it comes to these politics, when people are voting, what are you thinking about when you vote for these people? Are you really listening to them? Are you really listening to their capabilities and their mindset and where they're going? And like this president, most presidents run the country for those that voted for them or not. You can completely tell this administration is literally doing their own thing. They don't care who voted for them or not.
Check this out.
It's not
helping
the a majority of American citizens.
Nah, it's showing that it's affecting the ones that's voted for him. I mean, this group right here, I don't know what lane they're in, but I'm just looking at just how it's affecting farmers. Again, organizations working with Wisconsin farmers on conservation and market development projects have already had their funding frozen by Trump. So the Wisconsin-based nonprofit Dairy Grazing Apprenticeships was awarded $4.8 million in 2022 through the Climate Smart Commodities Grant program. The director, Joe Tomando, said their 5-year contract with the USDA requires them to front the cost of completing the project and submit an invoice for reimbursement the following month. Since the president's order halting the funding, he hasn't been able to submit invoices and isn't sure whether the funding they've promised will be released. They said, we have not been, this is what's crazy, we've not been instructed to stop work or anything, he says, but reports and everything are still due. They're being accepted, but we're not getting reimbursed. So it's faulting and funding, it's halting and funding being shown all across the country. Programs, big and small, and that's this. And this is what I'm saying. It's just nonprofits are getting affected. You know what I'm saying? For profits and everything in between. Anything that has to do with getting services and medication. Things that people need. People in programs that our federal workers and the federal workers locally that have accepted, you know, the offer and that don't know what to do now. The confusion, like you said, that keeps coming. But you know, we just, again, these are just political topics that we want to talk about and discuss today here on Be a Voice Radio. A little more relaxed, but also just getting the information out here and just letting y'all know, you know, what's going on. If you got any questions, please let us know. Give us a call. Comments, concerns, contributions to the conversation on any level. 414-444-5253. All right, Toya.
So back on that again, Brian, what I'm literally saying for the communities, that he is basing this off saying that he want to cut federal spending. But you got to look at what you're cutting. Is it effective for the community? And if it's not effective for the community, then you shouldn't be cutting it. Things that are effective for our community, you actually, that's non-effective for our community, you actually leave them in place.
Yeah.
Now, well, that ring y'all heard is one of our partners. That's Veronica Staton from Sharing the Love. When I do get off the radio, I do work hard on supporting our partners. We have a vast variety of nonprofit partnerships that we support in our community, and they support us. And it's really about getting out here and being civically involved. And us as communities need to start voting and voting hard. We shouldn't, every time I look at the polls and see that only 30% of our city voted, that disgusts me, because we need to do better. All across this country, people needed to do better. You had a candidate that was going to continue to move America forward. You have somebody in office now that's literally moving America back. And that's on that slogan he always said, make America great again. So this is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We are going to slide on out of here today. It's cold, y'all. Yeah, and I was finna say that, Debo. It's cold out there today, but tomorrow people are gonna be slipping and sliding. So be safe and make sure you check on your elderly and get out there and shovel that snow for them. We have a lot of viable young men, and that'll be a good way to make you some extra change tomorrow. So we're gonna ask the community to look out for one another. This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. I'm Latoya.
Brian in the building.
And we'll see y'all next week.